today to tell you that there's power in your mouth. And the thing in your mouth that gives you power is your tongue. We as believers must understand how much power we do possess in it, and it can help us or it can destroy our lives or others. Proverbs 18:21 says, "Death and life are in the power of the tongue, and they that love it shall eat the fruit thereof." That statement, death or life, is either very strong. Although throughout the scriptures, God used speech to send messages and purpose to those he chose to use. How many of us may not be saying the right things and our lives are not going in the right direction? Death or life is in that mouth, and we must speak what God has called us to speak, and the only way to do that is to know his word. Whenever we look in the scriptures, and we as believers should see how we can relate to what was said even in the past and take instruction from them. We can often see ourselves in what we have read, and we should make sure that if there is any doubt, we must cancel out that thought with all of our soul, heart, and spirit. In the book of Genesis, during creation, God spoke, said, "Let there be," and it was. The tongue, or the use of it, is everything to do with God's purposes and plans for us and for mankind. He said, "Let there be light," and it was. He said, "Let there be firmament," and an extended surface where there was land was suddenly created. In Genesis 10:1-5, there were some generations that were created. Now the generations of the son of Noah, Shem, Ham, Japheth, and unto them were the sons born after the flood, and the son of Gomer, and Ashkenath, and Rephath, and Tagarmah. By these were the isles of Gentiles divided into their lands. Now you may say, why? After every one, they had their own tongue. So that's how he separated the languages and the nations, by giving them their own tongue. After his tongue is key here. The word lason in the Hebrew speaks to the language of a people. And this is how he did his separations. But if we look at ourselves today, our tongue is a tremendous barrier to people coming to the kingdom. We walk in judgment. We stand in criticism. And that is not how God wanted us to be. Our current education system is not helping us as well. English was a very important subject at one time, but now, since we've got so technically minded, we forgot how simply talking to somebody could change the atmosphere. The tongue can keep us together, but it can also separate us. What we are saying is important, but who are we representing when we speak is much more important. We, as as believers, are God's spokespersons. Exodus 4:10-17 gives an example of somebody who thought he wasn't good enough to speak. Sometimes we may feel that we can't get up in front of somebody and give what God has put on our heart. And in this verse it says, "And Moses said unto the Lord, O my Lord, I'm not eloquent, neither herefore nor since thou hast spoken unto thy servant, but I'm slow in speech, I'm slow in tongue. And the Lord said to him, Who have made man's mouth? Or who have maketh the dumb, or the deaf, or the seeing, or the blind? Have not I the Lord? Now therefore go and be my mouth, and teach thee what thou shalt say. And he said, O Lord, send, I pray thee, by the hand of him whom thou wilt send. And the anger of the Lord was kindled against Moses, because Moses didn't want to do what God called him to do. He still wanted someone else to go and speak. But God had gave that mission to him. I know he wanted Aaron to go. He can speak well. That's what the verse was saying. And he seeth thee, but he is glad in his heart, and he shall speak unto him and put words in his mouth, and I will be with thy mouth and with his mouth, and I will teach ye what ye shall do. Know this for a fact, that when you put God's word in your spirit, the words that come out of your mouth will be his truth. We may think that we can qualify ourselves, but as we can see here, only God can. Moses was concerned about his shortcomings in his speech, but God has the power to use anyone. That means me, that means you. God can take what is handicapped to us and make it a manifestation to him. That little member in your mouth has so much power. Pray, study, and obey so he can help you let that little member be a blessing to the kingdom. Have a good day, and God bless.